I used to think betrayal was something that happened to other people. The kind of story you hear over drinks or see in a movie. But when I found out my wife had been cheating on me with my own brother, inside the house I built for us, betrayal became my reality. My name is Daniel, and for 6 years I believed I had built a safe, happy home. I worked long hours as an electrician, saved every penny, and finally bought us a modest 3-bedroom house on the edge of town. That house was supposed to be where we built our future, kids, holidays, growing old together. My wife, Emily, had always been the heart of our home. She filled the kitchen with music while cooking, left little notes in my lunchbox, and would sit with me late at night talking about everything and nothing. My younger brother, Adam, was the charming one of the family. He could talk his way out of anything, the kind of guy who made people laugh effortlessly. I loved him, trusted him. I thought of him as my best friend, not just my brother. Looking back now, I can see the warning signs. Emily had started dressing up more when she knew Adam was coming over. She laughed harder at his jokes than mine. And Adam, well, Adam had started finding reasons to drop by unannounced. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was being paranoid. After all, this was my wife and my brother. Then came the night that changed everything. I had been called in for an emergency job at 10 p.m. A storm had knocked out power on the east side of town, and I was gone for hours. When I came home just after 2 a.m., the house was dark except for the faint glow coming from our bedroom. My heart sank. I wasn't supposed to be home that early. Quietly, I pushed the door open, and there they were, Emily and Adam, in my bed, in the house I paid for, laughing, touching, completely at ease, as if my absence was their permission. My first instinct was to storm in and destroy everything in sight, but I didn't. I closed the door, stepped outside, and stood in the cold night air, my heart pounding, because in that moment I realized something. They had already taken everything from me, but what I did next would decide whether they got to keep it. The next morning, I acted as if nothing had happened. I kissed Emily on the forehead before heading to work, even though my stomach twisted at the thought of touching her. I texted Adam later that day, thanking him for keeping Emily company while I was gone. I wasn't just buying time, I was planning. If they thought I was clueless, they would let their guard down. For 3 weeks, I watched them. I came home early a few times, just to see how quickly they would scramble apart. I checked Emily's phone when she left it charging in the kitchen. Their messages were sickening. Inside jokes about me, calling me too trusting, planning their next rendezvous. It burned me to read them, but it also gave me clarity. They weren't sorry. They weren't ashamed. So, I started quietly preparing. I moved my savings to a separate account. I made copies of the house deed and car titles. I changed the beneficiary on my life insurance policy from Emily to my parents. Every day, I smiled at her, laughed at Adam's jokes when he came over, and pretended I didn't see through their performance. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. Emily told me she was going to visit her sister for the weekend. I told her I'd be working overtime. Instead, I waited until she left, parked my truck down the street, and watched Adam pull into my driveway less than an hour later. I gave them time. Enough time to get comfortable. Then I walked into my own house, loud enough to make sure they heard me. When I stepped into the bedroom, they froze, deer caught in headlights. Emily's face went pale, Adam's smug grin disappeared. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stood there and said, "You two look comfortable. Don't stop on my account." The silence that followed was heavier than any shouting match could have been. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the kitchen until sunrise, my mind racing, my heart pounding. I knew simply walking away wasn't enough. They had broken something in me that couldn't be fixed. And if they wanted to destroy my life, they were going to watch me rebuild it, without them. By Monday, my plan was in motion. Emily came home from her sister's, pretending nothing happened, expecting me to sweep it under the rug. Instead, I handed her an envelope. Inside were printed screenshots of every message between her and Adam. Her face drained of color as she flipped through them. "Daniel, I can explain," she stammered. "You don't have to," I said coldly. "I've already spoken to a lawyer. This house is in my name. You have 30 days to get out." She broke down crying, begging me not to throw away our marriage. She promised it was a mistake, that she didn't mean to hurt me. But her tears didn't move me anymore. For years I had given her everything: loyalty, love, patience. And this was how she repaid me. That evening, I called Adam over. He came, probably thinking I was ready to talk it out. Instead, I handed him a small box, his belongings from my house. "You're not welcome here anymore," I said simply. He scoffed, tried to play it off as if I was being dramatic. But when I told him I'd already spoken to his fiancée, and sent her the screenshots too, his expression changed. Panic set in. His perfect life, the one he was building while using my house as his playground, was crumbling. In the days that followed, I stayed calm while Emily unraveled. She tried every trick, cooking my favorite meals, leaving notes around the house, even showing up at my workplace crying. But I was done. The last night she stayed in the house, I left a divorce agreement on the kitchen counter with one final note: "You broke this family. I'm just taking back what's mine." When she finally moved out, I felt a strange peace. The house was quiet, yes, but it was my quiet. No more lies. No more pretending. A month later, I changed the locks, repainted the bedroom, and donated everything that reminded me of her. Adam had moved out of state after his engagement fell apart. Emily tried texting me once, saying she missed me. I left it on read. They thought they shattered me, but all they did was free me. And as I stood in my rebuilt home, I realized revenge wasn't about destroying them. It was about showing them I could live better without them. And that's exactly what I did.